So we're actually going to go right here, but before we do, I'm going to take a quick left. Because I want to show you something. So for the period of time, this tiny little island at the very bottom of Ireland was quite possibly one of the most important points in the entire world. And let me tell you why. There's a cable, the very first transatlantic cable that was laid between the continent of the US and Europe, made land here. Now this building here to my right, this white building here, was the original offices of it. We'll read the blurb on it here. So Tom operated on today successfully. Margaret O'Sullivan. This telegram was sent from Valencia to New York on the 22nd of April 1916, Easter Sunday. That's the day of the uprising here, the Easter Rising here in Ireland, by Tim Ring, with the help of his brother Eugene and their cousin Rosalie Rice in Kenmare. It was a coded message pre-arranged with John Devoy, leader of Clonna Gael in America, that the rising had begun. The telegram arrived in New York on 24th of April, Easter Monday. Devoy was able to publicise the news in America as the Republic was being proclaimed in Ireland. The speed at which the news arrived across the Atlantic focused full American attention on this Irish cause at a time when Britain was attempting to draw the United States as an ally into World War I. Tim and Eugene and Rosalie were arrested and imprisoned for their efforts. And there's pictures of them there on the top. So, yeah, like I said, the first cable ever was from the US to Europe, landed here. It's actually at the other end of the island, but this is the telegraph office, the main office itself. And we'll drive past where the cable landed. And it actually came from Newfoundland, just off the coast of Canada there. And interestingly enough, there's a TV show called The Republic of Doyle. Now let me just read this plaque and then I'll come back to the TV show. Electrical engineering milestone, County Kerry transatlantic cable stations. On July 13th, 1866, Great Eastern steamed western from Valencia, laying the telegraph cable behind her. The successful landing at Heart's Content, that's the name of it, that's right, I've forgotten the name, Heart's Content in Newfoundland on July 27th established a permanent electrical communications link that altered for all time personal, commercial and political relations between people across the Atlantic Ocean. Later, additional cables were laid from Valencia and new stations opened at Skellig in 1874 and Waterville in 1884, making County Kerry a major focal point for global communications. So that's how important this place came. It literally, so when that was put into operation, instead of you having to send a letter and it taking 3 weeks to sail across, you can now send telegrams almost instantly. It just revolutionized everything. It would the start of everything. It started the telecommunications, the interweb, everything. First cable laid from here to Newfoundland. But anyway, Republic of Doyle. It's a kind of a investigator type TV series, and it's set over on that island where this cable meets over in Newfoundland. And the interesting thing about them is it was actually settled by Irish people. So not only are we linked by a physical cable, but there's an actual Irish presence there. So much so that if you watch that TV show, you may notice something a bit odd. And it's that they all still have their Irish accents. I mean, they're all generational now. They're not actually from Ireland, they're of Irish descent. But there's still a very, very heavy Irish accent off them. Now, it's not exactly the same, but it's damn close. Maybe only an Irish person would spot the difference. To us, it's like when Americans try to put on an Irish accent. But it's as good an Irish accent as you're going to hear outside of Ireland. So it's an amazing link that not only did the cable go from here to there, but there's actually an Irish presence on it. So you notice when we came up out of Knightstown there, that's the name of the main town on the island. There's a fork in the road. The left one goes on the lower coast road, which there's not a lot to see on. We take the right one, and there's a few things we're going to see up here. We're going to see the Slate Mine, the lighthouse, the Mid-Air Station, who's getting all their weather reports around for me this week. There's a lot going on up here, and just to be honest, the Slate Mine is the main event really, because the view from it is off the Richter scale, and it's an interesting little spot. And you'll notice all the vegetation around here is very kind of tropical. And this is an unusual slate mine. For some reason, I don't know why, there's an altar in it, a mass altar. I assume it was for giving the miners mass. And it's still in operation, this mine. It's still it's still a live slate mine. As we read on the thing on Camig Tower there, the dog in the basket. Some of the roof of that tower were made from slate from this exact mine. So then we'll continue on down to the other end of the island, and we'll get to what's called Bray Head. And Bray Head has a fantastic view out to Skellig Michael. Now, if you've never heard of Skellig Michael, I guarantee you've seen it. It's a UNESCO heritage site, and it was the one where it's the island, the big kind of pyramid shaped island that Luke Skywalker's been hiding out on in the last 3 movies, and it's extremely hard to get onto it. Because it's a UNESCO site, it's one of the biggest bird sanctuaries on the planet. There's Skellig and then little Skelligs beside it, and I went out onto the island, and they bring out the little Skelligs first, and there's 6 million birds on, on this rock. Gannets, huge big seabirds. It's one of the largest. When you're out there, it's like being in an episode of National Geographic. And then on the island itself, Skellig Michael, it's they've only a limit. They only allow 100 people on it a day, and only at certain times during the year. Very hard to get onto it. You have to buy tickets months and months in advance. It's very hard, but oh my god, is it worth it. It's quite possibly the most beautiful place I've ever been in on the face of the earth. Stunning. So I think we're going to go down first. The grotto and the slate mine is up straight there, but we're going to go down a bit here first. Oh, there's a bit of sunshine here now, look. Woohoo! Oh, there's a bit of sunshine. There's the lighthouse there. We'll get a better look at it on the way back. But there's just something down here I just want to point out. But yeah, the Skellig Island, it's full of puffins. They're just the most hilarious bird to watch fly. It's hilarious. And they nest all along it, and my god, is it a tough hike to get up to it. But oh my god, it's just stunning, stunning. An old monastery at the top of it, built by I think it was 12 monks or something. They lived on it for years. It must have been even in modern day, getting on and off the boat on the pier out there is incredible. And the OPW, the Office of Public Works, manage it, and they've guys living out there all the time in these little tiny little huts with a hole for a toilet. They do stints of like 4 or 5 months at a time. Sorry folks, my battery had died there and I didn't notice, so I don't know when it went off, so I don't know what I've already covered. But anyway, I'll just recap. I'm on Valencia Island. Hang on a second. Okay, so I figured out where the camera stopped. So as I was saying, the reason I came down here is, one, for the view obviously, but two, it's just that car park over there. Let me just get into a better position. If you look over where all those people are standing in front of me there, see all the cars. There's a little car park there, and running down from there there's a little trail, and it's only a 5-minute walk, and it brings you down to those rocks where the waves are breaking down there. And in those rocks, if you go down, there's a little partitioned fenced off area, and in it has these tiny little footprints, and what they are the footprints of what's called the tetrapod. And from what I understand, the tetrapod was the first animal ever to leave the ocean. So 12 million years ago, I think it was, no animals on land, only animals in the sea, and the first one to leave the sea and walk on land with these rudimentary flippery kind of legs like a mud skipper was the tetrapod. So it was basically the original, the start in evolution of land-based mammals and animals and all sorts of things. So those footprints are here, and they're 12 million years old. Now at the time they were made, Ireland was much further down on the equator, almost to where Brazil is now, I believe. So a completely different climate and planet at that stage. Oh my god, look at this. These wheels are spinning out. But just 5 minute walk down there. I'm not walking down all my gear. I have a picture of it, I'll show you. Yeah, so that's the Tetrapod, the weather station that I was parked in there. That's the Valencia weather station. I should have knocked in and given them a piece of my mind for getting the forecast so bloody wrong this week. So now we'll backtrack on ourselves a little bit and we'll go up to the Slate Mine where they have like a grotto. And just there to the left is the entrance down to the lighthouse. Just there. There we go. That was nice of them. So this takes us up to the Slate Mine with some stunning views. So let's get up here. So you go beyond the house, don't just stop here. And there's the entrance to the mine. So as I was saying, go in and have a look. The Slate Quarry began in operations in 1816 under direction of the Knight of Kerry, a title held by one of the principal landowners of Valencia. Experts from Wales were initially brought in to instruct in slate working techniques. In 1839, Messrs Blackburn, an English firm, bought the quarry and traded as Valentia Flag Company. It operated all through the famine years, employing 200 to 400 men at wages double those prevailing on the mainland. Labour in Valencia was at times said to be scarce. That women also worked alongside the men. Wages towards the mid-1800s would have been typically 2 shillings and 12.5p for an 11-hour day. Ownership returned the Knight's estate in 1877, but competition from cheaper Welsh slate forced the quarry to close for a number of years during 1880s. It reopened around 1900 in an attempt to give islanders employment. In 1911, however, a massive rockfall closed the quarry for good. At its peak, Valentia slate was famous worldwide. It was exported and used to roof the Paris Opera House, the British Houses of Parliament at Westminster, and a number of British railway stations, including Charing Cross, Waterloo and Blackfriars. The Public Record Office in London has 26 miles of shelving made from Valentia slate. There was also a demand to make billiard table tops. The average side of flagstone sent to London was 14 feet by 6 feet, but could be supplied up to 20 feet long. The most remote place to which slabs were sent was probably an export order, Baja in South America, 1860, for use. Although the flagstones and slates were the main products of Valencia, the quarry more unusual items included altars, tombstones, sundials, garden seats. Several Valencia families specialised in this craft. In particular, a family named Carrick. It was said that the Carricks would cut a poor man's headstone for half a pint of whiskey. The surviving chimney is the only remaining section of the machine house, where the steam engine powered saws for shaping the flagstones. The grotto, statues of Our Lady and Bernadette, can be seen high up on the quarry sides. They were placed there in 1954 during the Marian year. The wildlife in the quarry includes the Irish hare, Irish stoat, mink, fox and rabbit. Birds include chough and kestrel. Spoil heaps are noted for the saxifrage, St. Patrick's cabbage. Very interesting. There's the statues way up there at the top of the grotto. There's the chimney stack. We'll go out and have a look at the view now in a second. It's just water streaming from the cavern. There's the altar. Look at that big, it's like a giant vase or something. This is all new. You used to be able to walk much further in. Bloody health and safety. So we'll stop here, beautiful view, and then we'll ride along the high road along the spine of the island. We'll take in the Skellig Michael viewpoint at Bray Head, and then we'll drop down off the island, across the bridge and into Port McGee. Beautiful little village, Port McGee. And if you're going to if you manage to get tickets over to Valencia Island, there's a little restaurant and hotel there, and that's where I stayed when I did it, and I highly recommend it. It's a little gem of a hotel, and the food is amazing. Oh, I think I saw one of those kestrels just fly up there now. Yeah, so there. Yeah, I've been to the Slate Mine loads of times. I've never read the blurb on it. So it's very, very interesting. Where all it's being used. I wonder, can I get the drone here? Let's give it a go. So I'll take this right here. So we're going to keep on the top. See Geokaun Mountain. So we're literally riding along the top spine of the mountain here on the island. The whole length of the island. And there she is, Skellig Michael. Hopefully you can see her way off there in the distance, a big pyramid shaped joke. 16 kilometers apparently it's out from the coast, and it still looks huge. So the big pyramid one, that's Skellig Michael. You'll have seen that in Star Wars. And the one to the left, that's the little Skelligs. And it's a once in a lifetime experience. If you get the chance, grab it. Grab it. It's an amazing experience. So this here is Bray Head. There's a little car park we go up to so you can see out a bit better over to Skellig Michael. Look at that for a view. So there's Skellig Michael, little Skellig to the left. And then even further over is Little Rock, now called Lemon Rock. And just down here is where the cable came in. There's a little old ruined cottage down there. And that's where that cable came in, that transatlantic cable came in through into this little harbour here, this little bay. Stunning. Yeah, so the cable house where the cable came in was just down here below me. See here the little plaque here marking the spot. See it there? Right, so that's pretty much all of Valencia Island done. Like I said, we saw a lot. We saw the original telegraph house, the coded message that went over to tell Irish in the US that the uprising had began here in 1916 to take Ireland back to being a republic. And then we went up, we saw the lighthouse, we saw the meteorological, I can't say that word, the weather station. We saw the Tetrapod site with the footprints. We went right over the spine of the mountain, we went to Bray Head, we saw Skellig Michael, all of that on one little island. And that's why I say, you know, don't miss it, because I've a few of the guidebooks, the road trip guidebooks for Ireland. Almost all of them, or most of them certainly, mention Valencia Island. They kind of put it as an offshoot, as if it's, you know, because it's not part of the official Ring of Kerry route, I suppose, that they don't highlight it enough. I've noticed that in a lot of the books, and, you know, if it was me and I didn't know any better, I would skip that. But our guidebook doesn't really mention anything about it. But it's by far one of the main events down here. And the same is true of the Ring of Skellig. The Ring of Kerry route bypasses the Skellig Ring. But you should definitely include that in, because some of the scenery off that is incredible. Absolutely incredible. So here we are now. We're going to go over here. This here's the town of Port McGee. Beautiful little fish down. There's all the boats there that'll bring you over to Skellig Michael. See all the little blue and white boats. That's them. Cracking little spot. And that hotel there is amazing. So I'm going to go in and use the old facilities here, and then we're going to push on.